friends, you are chilling with Christine. I am a working homeschool mom of 3. I want to speak to the mom that is having that little tug on her heart to look into homeschool, considering homeschooling, but has a little trepidation or a lot, or certain fears or uncertainties, or they just don't know where to start. So today, I want to discuss 7 of the fears, uncertainties that I hear most commonly, and maybe try and reframe some of those fears. So let's dive in. So fear number 1, a lack of time. I would love to homeschool, but where am I supposed to find the time to search curriculum, research, plan, put everything together, and then actually find the time to teach my kids in the midst of everything else that we have to get done in a day? And that was one of our challenges as well. When we started to think seriously about doing homeschool, we had to be very strategic on, how are we going to plan out our time? What rhythms are we going to put into place so that we can make this work? And especially with working outside the home and doing homeschooling, I'm making sure I'm planning out my year, my quarters, my month, my weeks, my day. And I want to challenge you too that we probably have more time than we think. One thing that really opened my eyes to just how I was spending my time was doing a type of time audit. Sit down and look at where I was spending my time every day, and found that just by shifting a couple things or reworking some habits and some routines, was able to open up a little bit more time. Also, when it comes to time in homeschooling, don't feel like you have to do the whole 9 months out of the year, Monday through Friday, 8 to 3, like a typical school day. There is so much flexibility. Taking the time to figure out what is going to work best for your family and for your schedule. Sarah Mackenzie's book, Teaching from Rest, she says, if God meant for you to have 36 hours of work in a day, he probably would have made a day 36 hours. And if we have more stuff that we're trying to get into and get done in a day, then there's probably some things on our agenda that are not part of his agenda for us. And that is one thing that has been something that I've been working on for the last several years, is just cutting back, prioritizing certain things, and just really being strategic in how I spend and lay out my time. Fear number 2, a lack of budget. Depending on whether you're still working or one of the parents is going to be at home and you're looking at doing one income, or looking at moving from full-time to part-time and not making as much income or losing some benefits, that can be a scary place to be in. Trust me, I moved from one side of the state to the other. We had just moved, just bought a house, had a 5-month-old. My husband didn't have any business, and I was looking at quitting, leaving my current position to move in with a different company, and I did not have a guaranteed income. It was going from salary to commission, and so it was a definite huge step of faith, but just God has provided. There has been a shift with our finances, and there has been ups and downs with our finances, and we have had to be strategic with our money and budget, just the same way that we have with our time. You don't need all the fancy, expensive things, and you can definitely homeschool on a budget. If you're interested, let me know, and I can plan on doing some future videos again on deep diving with budgeting, financing, and how we're strategic with our finances as well. The next fear, uncertainty in the season of life that we may be in. I'll be talking to mom and sometimes I'll hear, I would really love to homeschool, but I just don't know how we do it in this current season. Maybe there's a newborn in the family, or husband just lost his job, or a serious illness in the family. Whatever the situation may be, embracing the season that you're in, giving yourself grace in that season, because there has been multiple seasons where I have not shown grace to myself for not being able to do it all. And it's still a work in progress, but just realizing that I can do all the things, I just can't do all the things all the time. And there's certain seasons where some things are going to be a priority, and there's other seasons where other things are going to be a priority. It's also from Sarah Mackenzie's Teaching from Rest. She points out Jesus didn't do it all either. He left some people waiting in line. Not everybody got healed. He left one town to preach to another town, and he didn't do it all, but he did do all that God asked of him to do. So what is it that God is asking you to do? And are there some things, like we've talked about previously, that you're prioritizing, that's on your agenda, that should not necessarily be on there, or at least as high of a priority? Fear number 4, lack of resources, or on the other end, being completely overwhelmed by all the resources and having no clue where to start. I feel like that's more where I was. Just completely overwhelmed, not quite sure where to start. I found a couple good Facebook groups. Also, though, reached out to close friends and family that knew me personally, that knew our family personally, that was on the same page with our beliefs and values, and asked what their advice was, what they had done in the past. I've had a couple friends that have homeschooled their kids and have already graduated them. I have a couple friends that homeschool as well, that their kids are more in the high school stage at this point. And then I also have friends that are kind of in the same stage as us, just in the very beginning or a little bit ahead. And so I was able to kind of glean wisdom from all of them. But like I said, if you don't have a lot of friends or family or connections that are homeschooling, you kind of got to sort through it. But there are some good, helpful, encouraging groups and accounts to follow to get some insight and some inspiration. Also, when it came to resources and just feeling overwhelmed, we started very, very slow. We didn't try to do a full-blown curriculum or anything like that right away. So we just started with one reading book, 10 minutes a day, 5-10 minutes a day. After a couple months of the 10-15 minutes of reading, started to add, a 5-10 minute math lesson that we would work through with him. So at that point, we were only doing 20 minutes max, 2 subjects, and just started with that. And that's kind of still where we've been. We've started very, very slow, and right now just focusing on the reading language arts for about 10-15 minutes and the math for about 10-15 minutes. And that's our day. The rest of the day is either getting together with friends, or, they can have quiet play at home, or we do a lot of time outside, which they love being outside. So most of our days, especially good weather, they're pretty much outside most of the day. Everything that I've been listening to and researching has just talked about the immense benefits of just giving them back their childhood. Be kids and slow down and not rush into the academics. Just letting them run around outside and use their imaginations and creativity and jumping off things, and all those things are so good for their vestibular sense and their brain development. That is going to help them later on when it comes to the more rigorous academic learning. But for now, we're just starting very slow and focusing on just spending time with them and connecting with them and building that relationship with them. Fear number 5, perfectionism, which I have definitely had my struggle with as well. Oftentimes I hear, I would love to homeschool, but what if I mess up? What if I ruin my kids? What if they don't get into college? What if I don't teach them all the right things? And it can be so easy to just freeze because of that fear of perfectionism. There's a quote that says, "Have no fear of perfectionism, you'll never reach it." There's another quote I like as well. "Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy." So like I said, start slow. It's okay to start messy, but start. Fear number 6, comparison. It is so easy to look on all the Instagram accounts and be paralyzed by imposter syndrome and feel like you're not equipped for the task of homeschooling. But comparison is the thief of joy. Trust me, I love all the homeschooling, homemaking, homesteading content, but recently I had to just kind of go through, unfollow all those accounts that were making me feel inadequate versus being encouraging and uplifting and inspiring and supportive. The beauty of homeschool and what we found is that you can really make it look like any way you like and make it work for your family, integrating your life so that you have that joy, confidence, and peace. Fear number 7, lack of confidence. And this is what I've heard a lot in conversation. I want to homeschool, but I can't teach. I don't know how to teach. I don't have a degree to teach. I don't have the patience to teach. I don't have the knowledge to teach. But I want to ask you, who is more equipped to teach your children? You have been their teacher from day one. You've taught them how to sit up. You've taught them how to smile. You've taught them how to crawl and roll over and play. As they got older, you've taught them to walk. You've taught them to say words. You may have taught them some simple signs. You've taught them how to walk. You've taught them how to go up and down stairs, how to go down a slide, how to swing on a swing. You have been their teacher from day one. And there is no one that knows your child better, loves your child more, and is going to care more about their success. I'm not a teacher either. And I don't know everything, but delving into this homeschool journey and jumping in has given me the opportunity to grow as well and learn right alongside my children. God has woven a desire into your heart to continue to be the main teacher for your children. And despite all the fears, despite all the uncertainties, He is going to give you that pathway, give you that peace, and give you everything that you're going to need for that journey. God, I just pray right now for the moms that are watching this video, and I just thank you for this desire that you've laid on my heart to just reach out to other moms and try and build a community of moms that can support one another in their homeschool journey. And even if they're not homeschooling, but support them on their journey to really get the tools and the resources and the habits necessary so that they can really enjoy their kids. I know that's one thing that, I've struggled with in the past is just being so wrapped up with everything that's going on, and you're tired and you're overwhelmed, and it's really difficult to just stop and slow down and rest and really enjoy our kids sometimes because of all the stress and busyness and overwhelm. And God, I just pray over the moms that are feeling that right now, and the moms that have the desire to want to pour more into their kids and potentially look at homeschooling, whether that's, pulling out from the workforce altogether or moving down to part-time. I just really pray over her heart. Just pray that you just surround her with your peace, and that you equip equip her with what she needs right now in this moment, and just pray whatever fears we're feeling, that we just lay them at your feet, Jesus, and we know that you are here on this journey with us. Amen.